And Ray reported to me, called me right away and told me. And Ray was not overcome by it. He said, I thought that I would break down completely. He said, no, I didn't. Because Jerry was very interested in the process of dying. He told me on the phone, he said, I've never done this before. And he said, you don't get a second chance at it, I'm told. And he said, I'm observing really interesting things. I wish they wouldn't fill me with so many chemicals because I want to make some notes. Now, those of you who knew Jerry Andrus will know that I couldn't be lying when I say that, because that's the kind of person Jerry Andrus was. I could go on with endless anecdotes about Jerry, and the marvelous man he was, the most honest man I ever knew in my life, painfully honest. A fellow whose name I will not mention, now very well deceased as well, and he was a magician who had high pretensions of being a magical star, and he was not, but in his own opinion he was. And he finished a show that we barely got through with him. I worked on the sound system for him because he had it all messed up, and I got it straightened out for him, and we tried to help him as much as we could. It was an off-Broadway show, and Andrus was there for the opening, and backstage the reporter for the Billy Joyce is there, and from the New York Daily News, and they were ready to write a review of it, and it had been a disaster, frankly. And the fellow for the Billy Joyce asked Jerry Andrus, he said, well, Mr. Andrus, you're very experienced in magic. What did you think of the show? And Jerry said, I'd rather not discuss that. I think perhaps you shouldn't ask me that question. Because Jerry couldn't lie. Could not lie. He was incapable of it. His voice would have ceased and his voice box would have fallen out of his throat if he had tried to lie. He couldn't do it. And the fellow said, no, I'd just like to know your opinion. He says, yes, I'd really rather not comment on it. Well, Roy Benson was there. You wouldn't know Roy Benson. He was very famous in nightclub work at that period, a comedy magician, an excellent friend of mine. And Roy Benson, he turned to Roy Benson and said, what did you think of the show? And Roy, in his usual fashion, said, well, all I can say is he's done it again. The reporter wrote this down. The Billy Joyce guy then came upon Benson and said, what did you think of the show? And Chris was, the artist, the magician, I wasn't going to name, was standing there. And Roy turned to him and said, Chris, all I can say is you were never better. And both those were written down and got into the papers. But they didn't quite know the derivation of the comments. But Jerry just wouldn't answer any questions on it. He didn't want to discuss it. Because he told me after, he said, I've never been more embarrassed in my life. But he didn't say that for the media, of course. Jerry Andrus, hail and farewell. What a good friend, and what a lovely person. He was very, very helpful to the JREF, of course. As you know, he showed up at all of the amazing meetings. We still owe him $300 because he wouldn't send us the receipt for his air travel for the last time he was there. So we owe his estate $300, and I assure you that the estate will get the $300. But he wouldn't send us the receipt, and Linda had asked him for it several times, and we never got it. So we still owe him $300 somewhere along the line. So we'll miss him greatly, but he was ready to go, and he told me on the phone in the last conversation I had with him, he said, I've been every place I wanted to go, I've met everybody I ever wanted to meet, and I've done everything that I've ever wanted to do. I've had a very rich life. And now that it's closing, he said, you know, Ray told me, he said, Jerry, I hope you recognize that your condition is terminal. And I turned to him and I said, Ray, everyone's terminal. Think about that. Every one of us here is terminal. And it just happened a little sooner with Jerry. But what a lovely guy, and I'm going to miss him enormously. So hail and farewell, Jerry Andrus. By the way, we did not give credit to Rich. Are you in the room? Rich Montalvo, are you here? Yeah, go right over here. Up at the camera. Hi there. How do you know how to red light again? I see. All right. We didn't mention that Rich designed the shirt that